Hi everyone, I'm Melanie, and if you've been following my channel, you know that I've been struggling with an infection and a large wound, an autoimmune wound that's very rare. I'm trying to heal. And if you have been following me, I just want to say thank you again for all of your support and how much I appreciate it. If you're new, my name is Melanie. I've been trying to heal. I've had a lot of health problems for a few years now. Specifically right now, I'm trying to heal a very large wound on my lower left leg, and we believe it's autoimmune. They did a biopsy actually this week just to check for some things, and we may learn a little more information from that this week. So, but it's been a journey. I've been on IV antibiotics at home for about 3 or 4 months now. And hopefully my white cell count is way down, so things are going well, and hopefully we'll just keep going and making progress. I'll keep you guys posted. What I wanted to do today, though, was talk to you a little bit about how I got to where I am in terms of this journey and how it turned into an autoimmune journey. Because I think the way it happened for me is not normal, and I want to get the word out there in case anyone else might benefit from this information. So what I'm going to do is just talk a little about the history that led me here. It's all connected. So for many years, I had chronic pain issues. I was diagnosed with myofascial syndrome. I had a lot of issues with muscle pain, really ropey muscles in some areas, not the best functionality in my muscles. I was diagnosed at one point with mild scoliosis, but it wasn't severe, and a lot of people do have mild scoliosis. Then I've been to several neurologists, and there's nothing they can find in the spine that really explains anything. It just really seemed to be imbalances, mainly in my pelvis, and then later in my mid-back, so in the TL junction, the thoracic lumbar junction in the back. And it just seemed like it was getting to a point where it was spreading everywhere. I had nerve pain in my neck, I had nerve pain in the middle of my back, I had nerve pain in my hips, but especially in my legs. So what ended up happening was this neuropathy kind of pain in my legs and the instability that can come with that built to a point in the beginning of 2022 where I did go to a neurologist again who MRI'd everything. She really couldn't find anything wrong. She did tell me the EEG did show there was some neuropathy in the lower legs, but she said it wasn't anything that was some kind of fast moving disease. We chalked it up to imbalances probably in the pelvis or in the low back or issues there. So I ended up being put on gabapentin for the neuropathy to help with the nerve pain. Well, then the gabapentin ended up causing swelling in my legs, which is a very common side effect. So I stopped taking it. Within a week, I stopped taking it. But my right leg went back down to normal pretty quick. My left leg stayed really swollen for a long time and didn't go down. And that was kind of the first clue that something strange was going on in terms of an imbalance in my body. And while the swelling was up in the left leg, that's when the wound opened up and that started. So I've been dealing with this wound for a year and almost 8 months at this point. So this is what I really want to talk to you about, though. So all my life, I've had imbalances mainly in the hips and the pelvis. Yes, look at you like my really high-tech whiteboard with the little stick man here. So right here around the hips is where most of my imbalances have been. And the problem with the hips and the pelvis is when your hips or your pelvis is out of alignment, it's not like you're just hiked up one way or left to right or right. You are left to right and right to front. So it's a bowl. So it's not like it's just, oh, my left hip is a little high. Well, no, your left hip is a little high, which now means your right hip is too low in the back, hiking in a weird way in the front, and doing something else in the back on the right side too. So I had been dealing with that most of my adult life. I've been in physical therapy a lot, and they've helped me immensely. But what happened leading up to all this is I was going through a really hard time in my life, and I think I just got sick of having chronic pain, and I just decided that I was going to keep going and walking on the treadmill and doing things because I just wanted to have a life. I wanted to have my life back. And the pain, it wasn't so much that I was in chronic pain like every time I take a step on a treadmill, but it was one of those things where later when you would try to sit in a chair, you had to get up and move around. And so I just got a stand-up desk. And I decided, well, I guess I'm just going to stay moving around and standing up because that's what feels the best. And we all know sitting can be really bad for us. Well, what ended up happening is that imbalance that we had been controlling actually just set in, and little by little just started anchoring in, and then other areas of my body started to rotate to accommodate it. And by the time I got to a point where the neuropathy was so bad, literally, my body was here. I'll show you. You're just kind of rotated forward, and you can see it in this shirt. You're just like literally like this. Like it's like to put your shoulders in place means, well, that's pulling back there in a weird way in my hip. Or to put your hips in the right place means, okay, now I'm going to go this way with my shoulder if I just am in the place that feels comfortable. So it's like a rotation that goes throughout the whole body, which explains why you can have problems in the neck, in the back, and in the legs, and head to toe and everywhere. So we've been unwinding that and working on it, and things are definitely improved. I'm still twisted some, but it's definitely a lot better than it was. But what I want to show you all is, we think about, okay, if I had that happen, if my pelvis was that rotated, well, there'd be pain. It might irritate some nerves, which would cause some nerve pain in the legs, which mine did. But what it also did that I didn't realize is the pelvis rotated and stuck, and the other muscles accommodated it enough that all the lymphatic lines running down the inside of your thighs, which is the main highway for your lymphatic system going into your legs, got pinched off on the left side, which was why a lot of the swelling and the lymph wasn't going down on the left, but it did on the right. I also had more swelling and lymph buildup on the left side of my torso, even up around my shoulder and my arm. So what I want to make sure everyone understands is this kind of problems with your hips and your pelvis can not only cause muscle pain, nerve pain, nerve irritation, it can also affect your lymphatic system, your vascular system, all of those systems that circulate kind of together. And for me, now I understand more because we have been unwinding everything, that my swelling has been way down for several months, and part of it is the antibiotics, but a big part of it also is getting this opened up through here again, through that pelvic floor and up into the hips, so that there is a way for toxins to flow in and out more easily. Because with autoimmune, once your toxic load reaches a certain amount, you can get thrown into a full-blown autoimmune disease. And that is, I believe, what happened, because my doctor, I go to a naturopath, and she was checking me for autoimmune every 6 months for years, and it was always negative. And then before this happened, I did test positive for Raynaud's and a couple of things, but then that was very close to the time when the swelling happened and the wound opened up. And so I just want everyone to understand that you got to keep your lymphatic system moving very much. And this is why dry brushing is such a great thing to do. This is why also getting on those vibration plates to exercise, or even just standing on them, can be really helpful in moving the lymph around. Even the little trampolines to bounce on can really be good for your lymphatic system. But just be aware that if you notice, if you're prone to having skeletal imbalances like I am, just be aware that you have to stay on top of it. Even if you think you're feeling better, you really need to stay on top of it, because once your body starts to accommodate whatever the imbalance is, you don't feel it there anymore. So with me, for years, I could feel it in the pelvis, like, oh, I got to do something. This is flaring again. Go to PT. We get it under control. But once I kind of just pushed through and other parts started accommodating, then I started feeling things up here. Then you start feeling things over here. Then you start feeling things over here, and you're just chasing pain, because the actual source is the imbalance down here, but you're not feeling it there anymore. You're feeling it everywhere. So just take care of yourselves physically. Go to physical therapy. They're insanely great people, physical therapists. They have helped me more than doctors. I will be completely honest with you. Physical therapists are amazing. Massage therapists are amazing. And chiropractors, find a good one. They're amazing too. Just keep yourself balanced. Keep yourself circulating. Keep yourself flowing. And keep this in mind. And if you know anyone who's having issues with swelling, especially on one side of their body, trouble with lymph, talk to them about seeing a doctor. There's also a lot of massage therapists and PTs who are trained in lymphatic drainage too. So take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Just a really quick PS to the end of this video. I just wanted to show you guys this image of the lymphatic system going into the legs. And you can see how this is through the inner thigh toward the back. This is through the inner thigh from over on the outer hip, crossing over and then around the knee. This is going straight down around. So you can see how problems, especially problems in this inside hip area that would twist and stretch and, pull on all these muscles and attachments, could absolutely affect your lymphatic system. So just wanted to show you that real quick. Take care.